In this lesson, we're going to look more closely at the main types of strength-reducing defects found in structurally graded timber. For details on the actual limitations that apply to these characteristics in the visual stress grading standards, go to the webpage for the next lesson and follow the links to the various downloadable documents. Let's start with knots. Knots are branches from the growing tree that have been cut through when the log is resawn. Depending on the angle of the cut, the same knot can look different in a back-sawn board compared to a quarter-sawn board. You can see from these examples that all of the knots are running back towards the pith, because that's where they began their growth in the tree. Knots reduce the strength of a board because they take up space that would otherwise be occupied by the wood fibers running lengthwise. The position of a knot on the face or edge of a board has a significant effect on the amount of strength it takes away from the board. For more information about knot measurement and assessment, see the downloadable attachments in the next lesson. Resin pockets and gum pockets occur when a tree suffers an injury and patches up the damaged area to stop insects and fungal spores from entering through the wound. Softwood trees produce resin, and hardwood trees produce gum, but apart from the chemical differences in these substances, their function is much the same. Resin pockets, bark pockets, and overgrowths of injury are put into the same category in softwood structural grading because they're often associated with each other, and they all have the same effect on the strength of a piece. In hardwood structural grading, there are different grading rules for tight gum veins and loose gum veins, where there is a complete separation of fibers through the vein. The most common types of cracks or fissures in the grains are checks, splits, and shakes. Because they have different effects on the strength of timber, they are treated differently in the structural grading rules. Sloping grain refers to a deviation in the direction of the grain, away from a line that runs straight and parallel with the length of the board. The greater the deviation from straight and parallel, the weaker the board will be. Note that in softwoods, it's common for the grain to deviate around knots. As long as this is limited to a local deviation, it doesn't need to be separately assessed, because the grade limitations on the knot size will make allowance for it. Want and wane are caused by different things, but because they have the same effect on a piece of timber, they're both measured and assessed in the same way. There are various other defects that need to be considered when you are visually stress grading timber. For more information on these defects and how to assess them, go to the webpage for the next lesson, Visual Stress Grading Techniques. You'll find links to various downloadable documents relating to softwood and hardwood stress grading.